Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So today I want to talk to you about strong and powerful fragrances that feature the note of oud. It is so strange that I'm making a video about oud because a year and a half ago, I thought it would be completely unimaginable for me to wear oud or for me to enjoy a fragrance with a note of oud. It is definitely something that I think takes time to get used. I think the nose needs to mature and prepare for this note. And there are definitely different types of oud out there. There are fragrances with very light oud, beginner-friendly oud, and there are lots of fragrances with kind of a very strong barnyard type of oud. So I want to talk to you today about a variety of different fragrances featuring this note so that maybe it will kind of help you choose the right one for you. So I kind of grouped them in different categories. Let's start with probably the most popular category, and that's rose and oud. I think that's what we see most often. And the first one that I want to mention is the most beginner-friendly oud fragrance that I have tried. This is from Jo Malone, and this is Velvet Rose Oud. This is such a gorgeous oud and rose fragrance, and it is completely beginner friendly. For those that are not sure about this note, for those that are just dipping their toes into the note of oud, I would say this is the one to go for. I mean, of course, if you don't mind rose, if you mind rose, this is not for you. But if you're okay with the note of rose and you want to experiment with oud, or you're thinking, what can be your first fragrance with oud? I would say this is the one to go for. It is so gentle. The oud is so gentle, so understated. It just gives this fragrance some oomph. It gives it some woodiness, but it's very, very light. So the notes are pretty simple. Like I said, oud, rose, there's also cloves and praline. Can't really say that I'm getting cloves, but I am getting praline. It is definitely quite sweet, but you can tell that the sweetness in here is not from vanilla. Like there is something different about the sweetness in here, so I can see that praline is playing a role. So Velvet Rose Oud is a great beginner oud fragrance. Okay, next, let's talk about oud fragrances from the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. So I think most of you know that he has a few oud fragrances, but more specifically, I want to talk about Oud Satin Mood, which is probably the most famous oud from MFK, and Oud Silk Mood. Now, I have samples of both of these and I have tried them at least a couple of times. So what do I think about them and which one would I recommend? So first, let's look at Oud Silk Mood. So it has Bulgarian rose, chamomile, bergamot, hedion, gaiac wood, regular oud, and papyrus. So here it is, Oud Silk Mood. Here we go, not to get confused in the two. This one is my least favorite from the two. I feel like this one, Oud Silk Mood, is probably more on the masculine side. It is less sweet. The oud in it is stronger, and it has a slight medicinal or herbal vibe. So I would only recommend this one to probably men. I would say I don't think this is quite for women, at least to my nose. I mean, obviously this is all very, very subjective, and I would only recommend this to someone who has had at least some experience with oud. It is definitely not beginner friendly in my mind. Now, Oud Satin Mood, on the other hand. So it has Bulgarian and Turkish rose. It has vanilla, violet, benzoin, and oud, of course. And this one is much, much, much sweeter. It is very, very sweet. It is punchy. The rose in here is stronger. The oud in here is lighter. It definitely doesn't have any medicinal barnyard notes, none of that. It's a really nice oud, but the oud is quite present. It is quite strong. So again, I would not say that this is beginner friendly. I think you have to have at least a bit of experience with oud and be used to it at least a bit, because this could be overwhelming. This could be overpowering. But overall, this is such a beautiful, sweet rose and oud combination. This is definitely one of the best. It's popular for a good reason, and it's definitely on my wish list of MFK fragrances to purchase. I am interested in getting it. But I want to give you another option, not a cheaper version by any means. So I want to compare it to something that smells kind of similar. It has a very similar vibe, but in a much softer, gentler way. Now, this is one of my newer fragrances, and this is New York 5th Avenue from Fragrance Du Bois. So like I said, this is not a cheaper version by any means, but it's another version of this rose and oud combination that's somewhat reminiscent of Oud Satin Mood from MFK, but it is lighter. It is gentler. The sweetness is not as strong, not as punchy here. Even oud is more subdued. You get this really nice slight powderiness from violet, and it is very, very smooth. It is very creamy. Like, I think when I hold this fragrance, I mentioned that this is kind of a very elegant and sophisticated rose and oud fragrance, and that's how I would describe it. So if you enjoy Oud Satin Mood, but you're looking for a lighter, sort of slightly understated, maybe more everyday appropriate version, I would say try this one, because they have a similar scent profile, but the strength and the power of the two fragrances is quite different. Okay, next, let's talk about honey and oud combination. And my favorite scent featuring honey and oud is Oud Ambrosie from Maison Lancôme. This is a stunner. One of my top picks from Maison Lancôme line. It has oud, of course. It has honey. It has rose, patchouli, cedar. And although all the other notes are here, like they say rose, I don't get it at all. Patchouli, I don't get it at all. To me, this is all about honey and oud. It's beautiful, it's comforting, it's cozy, it's perfect for cold weather. Like, I find this scent so cozy and so comforting, and it's powerful, and it is warm and amazing. Beautiful, beautiful honey and oud combination. The best one that I have tried for sure. The oud is definitely present. It is definitely noticeable in this fragrance. So not sure if someone just getting into the note of oud would like it, or we will find it overpowering. Maybe, although this is not very overpowering. Oud is really, really nice in here. It just gives it a lot of depth, a lot of backbone, a lot of woodiness, more than anything else. So again, this is Oud Ambrosie from Maison Lancôme. Next, I have fruity oud. So oud that's in combination with fruits. And the fragrance that I chose for this is from the house of Xerjoff, and this is called La Capital. What a stunner this is. I am so glad that I risked it and blind bought it this year, because I absolutely love it. I actually wore it, I think, a couple of days ago and loved it. It's a beast. It lasts all day. It projects. It leaves a trail, and it's absolutely intoxicating. So the notes in here are strawberry, caramel, peach, labdanum, saffron, leather, amber, ginger, rose, vanilla, benzoin. So you can see that oud is actually not listed as one of the notes, but to me, to my nose, the presence of oud is undeniable here. To me, there is definitely oud. So I'm not sure if it's just my nose. I'm not sure if, not all the notes are disclosed on Fragrantica. I have no idea. But to my nose, oud is very, very present here. It's absolutely undeniable. And then you have this really delicious strawberry, and it's not the most realistic strawberry. It has a slight chemical touch, but for some reason it just works in here. It really works. And so strawberries are dipped in caramel, and then everything is supported by this oud. And perhaps it is the combination of saffron, leather, or whatever that's creating this effect of oud. I'm not sure, but I feel like oud is here. But it is such a nice oud. It just adds something special to this fragrance. It turns it from being this sort of a run-of-the-mill, sweet, fruity scent into something much more substantial, into something much more special. So I think in this fragrance, oud plays a huge, huge role, and that's what makes this fragrance special. And in a way, I really feel like it's beginner friendly because it is not too overpowering, and overall just absolute stunner. Okay. Next one that I have on the list, I'm going to call Fresh Oud. It could have potentially been included in fruity oud category, but to me, it's more fresh. And this comes from the house of Jul Et Mad, one of my favorites, and the fragrance is called Shar. So this does have oud. The other notes in here are rose, artemisia, bergamot, patchouli, jasmine, vanilla, incense, benzoin, sandalwood, and cedar. So this has very fresh touch to this fragrance. I think it's bergamot that is quite present in this fragrance, and not just in the opening. Typically bergamot is there in the opening and then it kind of disappears, but I feel like it is there through the life of the fragrance. It just has a real freshness to this fragrance and even a bit of sourness. I'm not sure where it's coming from. I mean, there is rose here, there's some other florals. I don't know where it's coming from, but to me, it has great freshness from bergamot, and it even has some kind of sourness, like fruity sourness, although there are no fruits that are listed in here. Yes, rose and the other florals are there on the background, but they're not at the forefront. So oud is also very light in here. This is very beginner friendly in my mind. It's gorgeous scent, very different, very unique to me from what I have tried. I really like it. In fact, the more I try it, the more I like it. This has landed on my wish list for sure. I think this might be a very soon type of purchase. I don't know, we'll see, but I really see that I need to add this to my collection. I want to add this to my collection because it's such a beautiful, fresh type of oud. That's where oud is almost barely noticeable, at least to my nose. And I'm going to finish with two oud fragrances that I consider masculine. And I know that some of you will disagree, especially about one of them, but I'm going by how I perceive these scents. And to me, both of these are masculine. And let's start by another one from Jul Et Mad, because they do have another oud scent. And this one is called Garuda. So this one has cumin, pink pepper, orange, bergamot, rum, saffron, patchouli, amber, vanilla, cashmere, woody notes, vetiver, musk. Okay, I could have missed something. There are possibly more notes. So this one is very masculine. This is very woody. This is very earthy. This is a bit spicy. I would say this is pretty much not floral at all. I don't get any floral nuances, and I also don't get any sweetness in here. This is very masculine, but it's a beautiful scent. Like, I think this is a very sexy scent. This would smell amazing on a man. But to my nose, I would not call this scent unisex at all. This is very, very masculine to my nose, but it's deep, rich. Oud is here, but again, oud is not very strong. It more adds to the depth and woodiness of this fragrance rather than have that blast of oud. No, everything is blended together beautifully. Like Jul Et Mad fragrances, majority of them that I have tried, and I have tried most of them, they're beautifully blended. You can tell the quality in these fragrances, and this is no exception. Strong, powerful, very masculine, very sexy type of scent. And the last one is the one that I know many of you will disagree about, because I know many women who wear this scent and love this scent. But like I said, to my nose, it is more masculine than feminine. Although I think we can easily call it unisex. This is Oud for Greatness from Initio. I know many of you will disagree. This, to my nose, it leans more masculine than feminine. Again, I'm sorry if you disagree. So the notes in here are saffron, nutmeg, lavender, oud, patchouli, and musk. And saffron is definitely here. It is quite spicy and perhaps even a bit leathery, very slightly. You definitely get oud, you definitely get earthiness from patchouli, and I am also getting woodiness in here. So maybe it's coming from oud, but I do feel like it's very woody. Now, I have tried this scent, this sample several times, and as it starts developing on the skin, it definitely, to my nose, gets this Baccarat Rouge vibe. Not a dupe, not identical, none of that, but it has a very similar vibe, but in a much deeper, spicier, woodier type of way. So that's how I perceive this scent. Again, I know many women love it, many women wear it, but to my nose, I think it leans a bit more masculine than feminine, but it's a beautiful scent. Of course, it's very popular in the fragrance community. Many love it for a good reason. It's a beautifully created scent. It's not one of my favorites. Like I said, for me, it just doesn't exactly work, but I still appreciate the quality and the beauty of the scent, and this would be appealing, I think, to many. So there you go. These are my thoughts on these strong and powerful oud fragrances. I hope that I gave you ideas about different types of oud, and let me know. Do you wear fragrances with oud or do you stay away from it? What are your thoughts about this note in general? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you soon in the next video. Bye.